Hey man, just giving you a quick call. I just wanted to let you know that you are so close, dude. You're so much closer than you think. A lot of these big goals that we've had and these big aspirations, they're right around the corner for you, dude. So you just cannot give up. So stoked for you to see this. P.S. We bought a Lambo. So keep going, bro. We'll talk soon. Peace.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Bryson. This is the Bryson Everyday Project podcast. This podcast is a little bit different than other ones out there. Here, I only focus on documentation. I don't focus on quality or being professional or being entertaining. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I'd love for you to stick around and give the show a listen. You can also follow me on Instagram at BRQUSE. Thank you so much. Here's the show. Yo, what's going on? It's Saturday, December 20th, 2025. What I just barely thought of before I started recording this was, I remember when I first started recording episodes, I would have to really think hard about how I was going to start it off, and I would challenge myself to just start recording and figure it out as I went. And I remember that was actually really difficult for me, and now it seems like I can just click record and start talking. Maybe I fall into a pattern that I just talk about, oh, this is what I did for work today, but I don't know. I just don't even think about it anymore. So I guess there's some progress right there, something to point out, something to reflect on. So pretty cool. But I figured out what the issue was with the missing episodes. So as of right now, 786 and 787 are both live. The issue, so I emailed Podbean. I said, hey, I'm sure this is very obvious, but why are these two episodes not visible on Spotify, but they are everywhere else? And they responded immediately within 5 minutes. And they said, it's because they are M4A files and Spotify only accepts MP3 files, which that reason right there alone is the entire reason why I have to change the files from what they are when they're recorded, which is an M4A, into MP3. And I don't want to say that I would not have an intro or an outro, but I would say it'd be a lot more enticing to only have to record a show and then upload it, not go through Adobe Audition to make an intro outro. I think the intro outro is cool. Part of me wants to make a new one. Part of me wants to get rid of it altogether. I don't know. It's just, do I need it? Why do I have one right now? I don't know. It's a whole different thing. But anyway, so all I did, the mistake that I made was I uploaded the actual audio file. So on the platforms where you could hear those two episodes, they didn't have an intro or an outro because they didn't go through Adobe Audition because they were the files from voice memos. So I just dragged and dropped from voice memos, or I guess I airdropped, whatever. And I never uploaded the ones that I made through Adobe Audition. So all I did was I just uploaded the correct file and it immediately fixed, and now they are available. So if you're listening to this, or maybe I don't even know where I was going with that, but yeah, they're fixed. So if you're listening to this, I guess you wouldn't know any different, but they are now uploaded, so that's cool. Figured it out. And I guess just a little helpful piece of advice, maybe this could help somebody, but when I reached out, I didn't say, why are they not showing? I said, why are they not showing? How can I prevent this? And how can I fix it so that they do show? So it's kind of a 3-for-1. Might seem very common sense to some people, but that is something, the feedback that you get from asking questions like that, I think is extremely beneficial. I think you can learn so much just from asking the right questions, which I think there's a lot of truth to the, I guess, belief or the philosophy or whatever, that the quality of life is directly correlated with the quality of questions that you ask, or something like that. I can't remember who said it. But anyway, so I got that figured out. Episodes are live. Very cool. I know not to do that again. And if there are any issues in the future, I know one possibility of why they wouldn't be, which would be that I uploaded the wrong file type. So I have Finder on my MacBook opened, and I can see that all the file types are all MP3, so they are all good to go. So after I record this, I'm going to upload the remainder of the shows, whatever the fuck you say, that haven't been uploaded yet. So at the time of this recording, that would be 788, 89, 90, 91, and 792 And then this one, which would be 793, which is very cool. It's crazy how quickly 100 days goes by being, I don't know what I was going to say with that either, but 100 days goes by, and it's crazy because every time I hit a new 100 with the show, I just think, holy shit, we're in the 400s now. Wow, we're in the 500s. Holy shit. Wow, we're in the 600s. I'm in the 700s now, and next week I'm going to be in the 800s. I think that's insane. 800 of anything is insane, you know, to have 800 days in a row for recording a podcast. It's crazy. So that's just weird. I'm going to be in the thousands next year. That's weird. Thousands? That's crazy. So anyway, that's just what I think about. But anyway, so today is actually a very, very cool day. And I think I'm just going to talk about this, and maybe that's it. I don't know. Not a big deal. Actually, I got to fix some stuff here. So that was 280. I'm putting in my business revenue here for the last few days, for the last few times. So Mina technically has not paid me today. He never pays on Saturdays. So I'm just going to not put this amount in. So, or maybe I should, because it's not official. Okay. So we can now officially put in the description. We can make it official. I have made $38,859 my first year in working for, or I guess doing entrepreneurial shit. Now, if you go way in the past, I think I made $6,064 total. And if you count videography and things like that, it's probably closer to $8,000, but we're not going to count that, just purely from coaching, whatever. And for the sake of tracking all of this, we're just going to count the last year. So on December 20th, which is today, of 2024, I had my first sales call ever. Didn't make the sale, but I did get a deposit. He then went on to ghost me, and I haven't talked to him since. So that's some bullshit ass behavior, but it's all good. So that happened 1 year ago today. Made $100. After that, I have all the charts and stuff and the data pulled up here. So after that, we made $100 last December. In January of this is all 2025. So in January, we made 1.3 thousand, so 1,300. February made 1,200. March made 700. April made 300. May made 2,000. I don't know the exact numbers. I'm just looking at the bar graph that just rounds up to the nearest whole number, nearest whole 100. So June, 4,500. July, 6,000. August, 6,600. September, 5.6, so we're going down. October, 4.1, went down again. November, 4.4, went up a little bit. And then so far this month, we're at $2,000. Now, if I simulate this a little bit, I think, well, I guess not simulate, but if I just project what I would make, so that's 1, 2, 3, that would be 1,300, roughly 1,300. So we're looking to finish the month with around 3,000, and that would be lower than last month. So we peaked this year. The highest I made from just business stuff would be $6,600 my first year. So to sum up the first year, what it consisted of was coaching and then doing operations for businesses. Coaching, I made a total of $150. $100 was from the deposit I made with Colton, and then $50 was from a friend of mine who I said, I just need testimonials. I need to get people results, so I'll do it for $50 a month. Paid him. He paid me once, and then after that, that's when I was like, hey, dude, I'm not doing coaching anymore. I'm doing something else, so I appreciate it. Just want to let you know, and all was well. So made a grand total of $150 from coaching. I made the remainder from, so that would be $38,709 from operations and all the back end shit. So I made a grand total of $2,800 from PT Dom. I made $6,200 from Dawson. I have made a total of 11,000 from Trey, and I've made 19,000 from Mina. So that sums up the last year of business for me. Now it's all service based, it's all hourly based. I didn't do anything where it was a big project or anything like that as far as getting paid one lump sum, not paid hourly, other than the 150 from coaching. After that, I said, fuck this, I'm not doing coaching anymore. I'm doing operations, and and it's been, I'm so tired of sitting. I'm going to raise my desk real quick. You can hear that, and that's what the noise is. But I made that switch to go from coaching to operations to back end to spreadsheets to analytics to systems and to automations, calculations, data, all that shit. And it's been great ever since. I have enjoyed 90% of it. And in this transition, I've also leveled up yet again to software design and software development and stuff like that. Thank goodness to AI. Thank goodness to Cursor. Thank goodness to Codex, to Firefly, to Claude, to ChatGPT, all this shit. I don't know how to code. I would love to learn, but with the rapid growth and rate of AI improving and allowing us to do cooler shit, obviously I want to learn. I think it'd be important. I think it'd be not critical. I think it would be beneficial for me to learn. But I guess it's not the focus right now because AI has been able to handle every single thing that I've thrown at it so far without a problem. The back-end code might be messy as fuck and it might be disorganized, but as long as it works and I know my way around things and I know how to navigate and how to change things, then I think we're fine. So a lot of things to work on there, but hell yeah. So this is very cool. My first year. And for the first half of the year, I was working this is so interesting. This is pretty cool. Look at this. So when I quit my job, when I actually stopped going to work, that was in May. My highest month-to-month payment or whatever for the whole year was $1,300 in January. So from December to May, it goes like this: 100, 1,300, 1,200, 700, 300. And then in May, when I quit my job, it was $2,000. So if this is one of the first shows you're listening to, or you just skipping around, I quit my job at Hill Air Force Base in Utah in May. I took the deferred resignation program, so I was still getting paid, but I was not required to go to work. September of 2025, which is this year, is when I was officially, quote, let go. I'm not affiliated or associated with the base anymore. Can't go back up there for any reason. Whatever. So May, I made $2,000. Next month, I made $4,500, then $6,000, then $6,600, then $56,000, then $41,000, and $44,000. And then right now I'm at $2,000 so far, which I'll probably finish the month with $3,000. So the month that I quit my job is when I started making more than $2,000 every month doing all my own stuff, upwards of $6,600. I don't know what the average there would be. Hey Siri, what's the average of 2,000 and then 4,500 and then 6,000 and then 6,600 and then 5,600 and then 4,100 and then 4,400 and then 3,300? Oops.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Oh, nothing gets me more upset than when I give it a command like that and I say a whole bunch of shit and then it doesn't catch it. Same thing when I'm using voice chat with ChatGPT and I start recording a 3-minute thing and I click accept or submit or whatever the fuck, and it's just blank. Fuck. I hate that. Okay, so anyway, just looking at it, I'm gonna say the average is around 3,800. Now I really want to know what the average is. It's about 3,850. That's my prediction. Okay. Siri, what is the average of the following numbers? 2,000, 4,500, 6,000, 6,600, 5,600, 4,100, 4,400, and 3,300.
Okay, I found this on the web for what is the average of the following numbers: 2,000, 4,000, 500, 6,000, 6,000, 600, 5,000, 600, 4,100, 4,400, 3,300. Check it out.
It says check it out, like I'm. We're gonna use ChatGPT for this shit. I'm so over this. All right, try this again. Try this again. What is the average of 2,000, 4,500, 6,000, 6,600, 5,600, 4,100, 4,400, and 2,000? I don't know why I say the number's weird. Okay, it has it. 3.3. Not. Okay, let's see what it says. My guess was 3,850, just based on looking at the numbers. No, it's 4,562. I was way off. So the sum is 36. Well, interesting. Missing some dollars. It's here. It's all good though. All right, well, made an average of 4,600, 45,62.50 according to these loose numbers. So that's cool. It was the average I made per month ever since quitting my job. So that's cool. So that's kind of a year in review of all the gain that I made in the last year. I'll tell you what though, it sure as fuck doesn't feel like I made 40 grand. I made 40 grand and I had a job that was paying me for 5 months as well. So for almost half the year, I was making 9 grand a month. And sure as fuck doesn't feel like it, dude. So I don't know. I don't really know exactly why that is. I don't know. When I think of if I were to be making, what would that be? 22,000, what? 2250 per week. I'm just not making that kind of money though. And so, I mean, not right now, but that's a lot of money. If you ask me right now in my current life, in my current situation, $9,000 a month, that's some damn good money, if you ask me. Because right now, I'm making about $800, let's see, so 570 plus 320, that is 990. No. 890. Yeah, 890. So making about $900 a week. And I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to get out here other than at one point I was making 9 grand a month. I was. Never once felt like I was making $2,250 a week. That's crazy. So what kind of income do I need to feel like I'm making money? Is that 20 grand then to double that? I don't know. So I guess as far as all that goes, it has slowed down. And honestly, my focus has just been building this app. And then for a while it was building FitBiz. And I will definitely revisit FitBiz, but I do believe with all my heart that I have a lot of issues in my life that all resort back to discipline and the ability to just stay the course. And I think that I need to get my shit together for a multitude of reasons and because of a multitude of reasons. And I feel like I am giving myself so much stimulation with being on my phone, with reading certain articles or headlines, or trying to keep up with politics, or trying to design FitBiz or the Blade app, and trying to figure out how to maintain this while also under some stress of in some ways having to make a certain amount of money so that Lexi and I don't drown, because even though we have everything split financially, what I mean is we don't combine bank accounts or anything like that. Even though our situation is separate in that regard, if I don't make money, that brings her down as well. So there's the additional little bit of pressure there. There's the little bit of pressure of I just simply need to get this shit going. When I say that, I don't feel like that's the correct thing to say. I feel like shit has been getting going, but it takes much longer than I anticipate. And that is a common theme with a lot of what I see on social media, is that however much work you think it takes or however long you think it's going to take, add a 0, and that's probably how many reps or how many minutes or hours or whatever it's going to take. And I think just keeping that in the back of my mind has been helpful, because I don't know, if you just think about it, if somebody would have said, hey man, you're going to record 800 podcasts in a row and you're not going to have done shit, so just be prepared for that. I wonder if I talked about that early on, if I was like, damn it, I said like, I was doing so good. I think I did it earlier too. I just didn't call it out. But I wonder if I thought, yeah, at least 800 episodes in, I'm going to have something going, be making at least 10 grand a month, right? I wonder if I talked about that. I don't know. Need some AI to go back and find that for me. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. So maybe, you know what? What was I going to... Oh, yeah, I was going to say that the 10% mark would be episode 7,000. Sorry, episode 735. Well, it would be episode 7,000. Fuck. Episode 730.2. No, point. I don't fucking know. It doesn't matter. Episode 730 is 10%. So we're past 10%. It's crazy to think that what I just did, I got to do 9 more times, then I'm at 20 years. Then I'll be 40, what was it, 47 or 46 when I started the... How old was I when I started the show? 26? So yeah, I'll be 46. I'll be as old as my mom. I think she's 47. I'll be as old as my almost mom when I reach that goal. And am I going to stop there? Probably not. How am I just going to record 20 years worth of a show and then say, oh, that's it. Yeah, all done. I'm definitely going to keep this going. So that's kind of cool. Or maybe I'm not. Maybe this is going to change into something different. I don't know, because this has always been this show. I've never considered doing anything other than what I've always done with it. I've never tried to be more professional or I guess I have tried to be more organized and tried to make it more professional sounding. But I have podcasts where I'm driving a FedEx truck and it's clanging around and my phone is in my pocket, in my pants, and I'm screaming. And that's the show. It was never supposed to be on quality or anything like that. So I don't know. But yeah, everything is going great. Let me go back to what I was saying. I think that I just have a focus problem. I think that I have a discipline problem. I think that my head I think my intent is good. But I think that neglecting other areas of my life maybe is not a net positive. So neglecting overall fitness, neglecting discipline, neglecting trying to learn and educate myself, things like, I guess, hiding away from social media and things like that, as far as being a creator, because it's one thing to just post. I don't know. There's some insecurities there. There's some ego there with not wanting to be on social media, and then also realizing that it is extremely valuable for business and for getting your message out. Every single fucking person on planet Earth, with a little asterisk, is on social media, and it's free, and everybody's on there 24/7. So why wouldn't I take advantage of that and post my products and try to get more people to see it and advertise there and help people and all this stuff and make some money? Why wouldn't I? If man, I don't know. If that just weren't a requirement, I probably would just delete social media altogether. If I could do something else to help people or to be an example or to, I don't know what it would be. I don't know what that would look like. I have no idea. It's probably a very similar concept, whatever the other alternatives are. But I don't know. I wish that we could choose specifically and exactly the types of videos that we want to see rather than having an algorithm feed us shit based on what we currently see. I want to be able to just switch it up immediately. I want to go in there and check some shit off and say, never show me this type of shit again. No matter what, under any circumstances, never show me videos about Rocket League ever again. Any video that contains Rocket League, I never want to see it again. Don't bring it across my feed. Every single video that contains, I don't know, Scotch tape, I never want to see that shit again. Every video that contains people who say blah, 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 I don't know. And just make that the ultimate pure, strict ass filter of, every video that comes across my feed must include some sort of uplifting message or something. I don't know. But I bet you that type of shit doesn't keep people sucked in, which therefore decreases the amount of people who look at ads, which therefore decreases the amount of money that the advertisers, or I guess that that Facebook and Instagram and all these different companies make. So therefore they wouldn't do that. I don't know. So it can all be dreamers, I guess. Some shit in life will never happen, and that's one of them. But anyway, little side tangent. I'm gonna have to post on social media. I'm gonna have to record myself talking about whatever I'm building. I foresee the Blade app that I'm building something that I will promote always, and I'll always post how I'm doing, and I'll always post the accomplishments, and I'll always do all that shit always, because with every successful subscriber, that's an extra. If assuming someone stays for a full year, which it probably not the case, I mean, the churn rate is probably, I don't know, because it's a very niche down app. But assuming, and this is just optimistically speaking, but we'll say that the average person stays for 6 months. Every time I get someone to see the app or download the app or whatever and then signs up for a subscription and they stay for 6 months, we'll just call it $100. So $100 every 6 months for one person. So what I would have to do to make a living is to get, I don't know what that would be, 100 people a month. Yeah, that's exactly what it would be. 100 people a month to make this something that could sustain my current living expenses and then some. So they'll stay for an average of 6 months. That means by month 7, we have sustained 600 people. 600 people paying $20 a month. Wait, did I do that math wrong? No, that's right. Why does it seem like it's not right? No, I would only need 50 people a month. 50 people a month at $20 a month would be $1,000. And by the end of 6 months, there would be 600 people, 300 people, and 300 people would pay for my living expenses. So seems very doable because my graduating class of high school is probably 300 people. So if I can just get my graduating class and then tell everybody else on planet Earth to fuck off, and I'll have all my bills paid for, and then I can work on something else. I don't know. But that's just kind of where my head goes. And if I could just promote it always, I mean, it's something that I would do. I don't know. I just see this as a long-term play. I see this as a way to, as self-branding, or what is it called? Personal branding, the fuck. And a way to promote something that I built, and also to promote a specific lifestyle, and also to help men of this world kind of take control of their shit. And I feel extra good about all of this because I am a victim of the shitty lifestyle choices that most men make. And if I can lead by example and get the fuck out of them and show how I did it, and also help other people do the same, and also make a living for myself and my future family, I just can't think of a better way to I guess, navigate through life. Having all those things kind of in my corner and being able to lead by example and also help other men out there get out of their own way kind of thing. So that's the idea. I don't foresee this being something that makes serious money, especially for the next few years. I do foresee it being something that's going to help me make a lot more money, not from the app, but in terms of getting my shit together, being more disciplined, and also feeling like I have something to lose by not being a man of my word publicly, especially if this is an app that I built for myself and it's all public. I mean, the idea is that all the tasks and all the blades and all this shit are public viewing. So, for example, you listening, I can go into your profile and I can see your tasks. I can see your success rate, your fail rate. I can see what you're trying to work on. I can see what blade you're on. I can see how many tasks you've completed of that blade today. And I can click a little button that just sends a notification to you. And if I did that, you would receive a notification that says, Bryson doesn't want you to forget to read 5 pages of How to Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. What is it, Napoleon Hill? Napoleon Hill. That's not right. Hold on. I have the book right here. Let me see. Napoleon Hill. Where is it? Where the fuck is it? It is Napoleon Hill. Why do I think it's not? When I say Napoleon Hill, I feel like I'm way off. I may as well say Napoleon Dynamite. It's the same name to my head. Anyway, and then that would be sweet. I could also, or you, Mr. or Mrs. Listener, you and your husband, or you and your best friend, or you and a total stranger could join up in a team and do the same program, and you would both see each other's progress as you both go throughout the thing. So I could see. So first of all, you commit to the same exact things, no matter. There's no difference. There's no. Well, you live in an unsafe area, so you don't have to go out for an outdoor or whatever. And full disclaimer: don't do anything ever that I say ever. Never listen to me. Never trust a word I say. There's your disclaimer. There you go. I'm safe. I'm off the hook. Anything that I say you should do, you should absolutely not do. It's probably going to get you killed. It's probably going to send you to the moon, and you're going to get abducted by aliens. So don't do that. Don't. Everything I say on here is bogus. We'll just say that, all right? Moving on. So regardless of the circumstances or regardless of the situation or whatever, you both would be doing the same exact thing. So at any given point of any day, at any time, I can go on and I can click on our team, or you can click on our team, and you can see you, Bob, John, and Bill are on day 5 because you all start at the same time. Looks like Bob has completed 5 of his 8 tasks. John has completed only 1. What the fuck's he doing? And then Bill has completed all of the tasks, so he's done. He's off the hook. He just can't fail the rest of the day. And then what you can do is you can send a little notification to John to get his shit going on all the tasks that you feel like he should have already done or whatever. So you can click the button and then boom, John gets a notification. John will then say, oh shit, I got to do this. John finishes it. He can go back on and see the team and see how everybody's doing. When everybody's done, successful completion, boom, move on to the next day. If somebody fails, first of all, there's 2 modes. I've talked about this, but if somebody fails, then everybody restarts. So it doesn't matter if Bob, John, and Bill are killing it and they've been 100%. If you come along and you forget to do one of the tasks, maybe it is no caffeine. Maybe you accidentally maybe you thought that decaf coffee didn't have caffeine. And it actually does. It has very minuscule amounts. I think we're talking 2 or 3 milligrams. But that's a fucking fail. That's the point of the app. Even if you didn't know, it doesn't matter. You now know. You know now. It'd be different if you went the whole blade and then the next few years thinking this whole time that decaf coffee really didn't have caffeine in it. You know, I think it'd be a little bit different story. But if you're doing a blade and that blade is 100 days long, and you find out on day 45 that you have been drinking decaf coffee, and it does have caffeine in it, and one of your tasks is no caffeine, I wouldn't say that it is okay to continue on and finish that blade knowing that the first 45 days you did consume caffeine, even if you didn't know it. Because now you know, and it's up to you to say, is that cool? Well, I didn't know. That's bullshit, dude. You fucking restart. And I think that's where the app will draw a lot of people away. I think people generally believe that you should have some forgiveness or some grace or something like that. I think that's why 75 hard is so... I think that's why people try to make it so much easier. I mean, there's 75 soft or whatever. There's, well, I did it my own way. Or, yeah, I did the program, but I changed a couple rules because it was unrealistic or whatever the fuck. I think that's why the program gets so much flack from soft motherfuckers saying those things. Well, it's too hard. It's not sustainable. It's this, it's that. You know, it's not sustainable to do 2 workouts every day for 75 days. A gallon of water is too much, blah, blah, blah. So I do think for those reasons that the app will not do well. That's just a prediction that I have. I think it will attract a specific niche of people, and I think those are my people, and I think it will act as a repellent to everybody who is looking for an app where you can have a vacation mode, or you can pause your streak, or you can earn enough points to make your streak double, or get enough completions in a row that you can I don't know, get an extra trophy, or I don't know. So I'm actually going to write a little explanation, I guess, of what each thing is and the rules and everything like that when the people get the app, so that way they'll know what kind of app it is, who it's for, that kind of shit, and then go from there. But yeah, anyway, I'm really excited because I know this is going to be extremely beneficial for me, and I think that not the app itself, but what the app will do for me, not even talking about, if I'm the only person ever to use this app in the history of Earth and nobody ever knew about it, I think it would still do me an insane amount of good as long as I stick with it and really push myself. So I don't know. I've gotten to this point where any second that I spend not working towards something, I genuinely feel disgusting inside. And it's only after I kind of come out of it that I feel that way. It's not like, for example, if I'm doom scrolling, I'm aware that I'm doom scrolling and I'm aware that I'm wasting time, but it's only after I actually shut my phone off and put it on the desk or something that I think, what the fuck am I doing? And though that moment for me makes me feel embarrassed, it makes me feel ashamed, I feel disgusting, I feel lazy, and I really hate that feeling. Somehow my temperature in my room has gone up 4 degrees since I started recording the show. It used to be 71, now it's 75. That's crazy. By the way, I think right now it's actually very ideal. I think 75 is nice. If I had it my way, my house would always be 75, 6, 8, 7. Probably 75. I don't know. I think it depends on a lot. But I have a girlfriend, and she doesn't like when the temperature starts with a 7. But I love her a lot, so we make sacrifices for temperatures for the house. For those, we love. Fun little fact, that's something that I say to Lexi more than she says to me, but whenever we want the other person to do something that the other person probably doesn't want to do, we then say, for example, we scratch the backs of those we love. And then that's my persuasive technique to get her to scratch my back or whatever. And I do it a lot more than she does it to me. I've probably done it 30 times. She's probably done it twice. But anyway, I have to interject real quick. I love her so much. I can't wait for her to come home. Okay, end interjection. All right, well, that's kind of where everything is at. And with Christmas being here and with me being very procrastination-y, forgetting to get gifts. You know what's funny is I bought gifts early this year. I actually got Christmas gifts in October, and I felt great. I thought, holy shit, I'm doing Christmas right. I'm not going to have a panic attack to order everything on Christmas Eve. Sure as shit, December 20th rolls around, and I haven't bought anything since. So I went on a shopping spree today, and just for documentation purposes, I had to put damn near every single bit of it on credit. I went into debt for quite a bit of this. So I'm gonna say this. I did get one specific gift, and knowing that it would put me over a little bit, but I do believe it's a net positive long term, and I do believe it is something that, I don't know, I just believe it's a net positive despite the price tag, no matter what. Everything else, though, call me a selfish piece of shit, but it's not benefiting me whatsoever. And it's kind of shitty to think that we have gotten to a place in this world, in society, where we have holidays and there are expectations of these holidays. And if you don't follow these expectations, you're seen as this way or that way. And I'm not trying to be a Scrooge, but if the true meaning of Christmas is to celebrate Christ's birthday, what the fuck does wrapping up gifts and giving them to people and then pretending a guy in a big red suit have to do anything? Now, maybe I'm extremely naive to all of that, and maybe there's actually a deeper meaning that I'm not aware of. But, I mean, if you go all the way back, wasn't Santa Claus this German demon that stole kids or something like that? Let's actually do something real quick. And I don't know if this is... What? is the origin of Santa Claus? Is it true he was a demon who stole kids back when the first version emerged? Let's see. Origin of Santa Claus. Santa Claus is not a demon. That claim is false. St. Nicholas, a 4th century Christian bishop in Myra, modern Turkey, known for secret gift-giving, charity, and protecting children. Sinterklaas, Dutch evolution of St. Nicholas, brings gifts to children, migrated to America via Dutch settlers. Father Christmas, English personification of festive generosity and winter celebration. American synthesis. These traditions merged modern image was standardized through poems, illustrations, and advertising. Where the demon stealing kids idea comes from, Krampus and similar figures, Rupert, I don't know. Dark folkloric companions in alpine regions who punish misbehaving children. They are not Santa. Medieval folklore. Many cultures used frightening figures to enforce behavior, later retelling blurred distinctions. Modern internet distortion, conflation of separate myths into a shock narrative. Bottom line, Santa Claus descends from a charitable Christian saint and European folk traditions. No historical version depicts Santa as a demon who stole children. The demon narrative. Okay, well, the demon thing is out the window. That's a bummer. Happy Christmas. Well, anyway, so one dude a 4th century Christian bishop in Myra, known for secret gift-giving, charity, and protecting children. That motherfucker now has cast upon us the requirement to buy friends, family, loved ones, whatever, presents during the month of December. And now it's this big, huge... This is where my mind goes. It's... The amount of money that is made through buying the same exact shit we all have now, but just Christmas themed. I mean, same thing with Halloween and Thanksgiving and St. Patrick's Day and Valentine's Day. It's all the same shit. It's just, I don't know. It's where my head goes. Because we all, for example, Lexi and I, we have salt and pepper shakers. We now have a Santa Claus and a reindeer salt and pepper shaker. We also have two ghosts, or no. We have a tombstone salt and pepper shakers. We also have a pie and a whipped cream salt and pepper shaker. We bought the same goddamn thing 4 different times just because of what the theme is for that time of the year. And it's, you're considered a bah humbug or not festive, or you don't celebrate or whatever if you don't buy into all this shit, So if I didn't celebrate Christmas or whatever, what the fuck's my phone doing? If I didn't celebrate Christmas by giving people gifts and doing all this stuff and putting a tree in my fucking house and then putting lights on it for only the people to see that are in my house, and also people who drive down the street when it's dark at a specific angle so they can see the tree. I don't know. So anyway, what I'm trying to get at is I went into debt to buy gifts for people because there's a requirement and an expectation that you buy a gift during this time of the year. And I'm not saying it's good or a bad thing, but if this is for Christmas, maybe we should tie in the idea of what Christmas is actually about, right? Because isn't this the birth of Christ? Let's see. What is the true meaning of Christmas? What does ChatGPT think of this? True meaning of Christmas. Core meaning, historical plus theological. Christmas commemorates the birth of Jesus Christ. God entering human history in vulnerability, power expressed through humility, salvation framed as closeness, not dominance. Incarnation, the divine becoming human. Humility, born poor, unnoticed outside power structures. Redemption, restoration of the broken through love, not force. Hope, light entering darkness. Cultural meaning. As Christianity spread, Christmas absorbed older winter traditions, light during the darkest season, generosity during scarcity, community during isolation. Oh. These are not the origin, they are symbolic reinforcements. What it is not. Not consumerism, not indulgence, not nostalgia for its own sake. Those are modern overlays driven by commerce. Bottom line, Christmas is about self-giving love, presence over power, and renewal through humility. Everything else is decoration. Why is it the norm to give everyone a gift despite the repercussions of not gift giving? I don't know if I worded that correctly. It's a social contract, not a moral rule. Reciprocity enforcement, costly signaling, relationship maintenance, ritualized obligation. Ritualized obligation. Holidays compress many social expectations into a single predictable event. This reduces uncertainty but increases pressure. Why not giving a gift has repercussions. It violates expected reciprocity, even if no explicit agreement exists. It implies devaluation of the relationship, regardless of intent. See, that's fucking bullshit, dude. It creates asymmetry. Someone gave, you didn't. Humans are intolerant of unresolved imbalance. What's actually being exchanged? Not objects, but acknowledgement, inclusion, and proof of regard. Gift-giving persists because it stabilizes social bonds through visible sacrifice. The punishment for non-participation is social friction, not because it's ethical, but because groups enforce norms that reduce ambiguity and preserve cohesion. Why is it speaking like this to me? I need to widen my vocabulary, because half of this shit I'm like, what are you saying? Said like again, fuck. Well, anyway, I'm going down a rabbit hole, aren't I? I mean, Christmas is great. I love gift giving and stuff like that. But when it comes to the point where I then feel like the only reason why I'm getting a gift is because I have to, because I gave somebody else a gift, and therefore it would seem rude or like I wasn't thinking of the other people, unthoughtful, non-thoughtful, whatever, de-thoughtful, who gives a fuck, for not getting the other person a gift, when in reality, I don't give a fuck enough to give the other person a gift. If I want to give somebody a gift, let me just give them a gift. We have a whole holiday dedicated to gratitude, and that's Thanksgiving. I know there's a whole lot deeper meaning and all that shit that goes way deeper than just saying thank you. But we put such a heavy emphasis on gratitude on that one goddamn day of the whole year. Why I could be grateful any other day of the year. I can be grateful every day of the year. Just because I don't know. I don't have, there's no fucking requirement that I be thankful, especially on a specific day. And if there was, I don't know. I don't know where I'm even going with this. But it doesn't have to be a specific special occasion for me to do these things. Let me just do them when I want to do them. What, do I have to wait for my anniversary to buy Lexi flowers? I can't do it any other day? Valentine's Day is supposed to be romantic and special and all that horseshit. I can't do that any other day? Well, you can, but on Valentine's Day you have to. Well, why? What the fuck did I sign up to that makes me have to do that? Not saying that I won't ever do this. It's just I hate that we've gotten to a spot where it's forced. I want to be careful using that word. It's not forced. You don't got to do shit. Where the expectation is so goddamn heavy, there's like this thing says, that it just causes so much social friction if you don't. So anyway, enough of that. Went into debt, spent a lot of money, got some people some gifts, and the whole idea of that, I mean, it's like whatever episode it is, is it 16? The Dark Side of the Golden Rule. I don't know if it's 16. I know it was really early on. The Dark Side of the Golden Rule. Which, the Golden Rule is treat others how you want to be treated. Or do unto others how you wish they would do unto you. I think that's the actual, when you go all the way back. I don't know, that's what the earliest version. Do unto others as you wish they would do unto you. I don't want you to buy me shit, so I'm not going to buy you shit. I'm cool with that. I'm not going to give you a goddamn thing for Christmas, and in return, I don't want you to get me a goddamn thing for Christmas. You know? That's just what I think. I'm not going to put candy on my porch for your kids, and you're not going to put candy on your porch for my kids. I'm cool with that. You know, I mean, that's probably a shitty example because I want my kids to have that experience, but I'm not going to bring turkey to Thanksgiving because I don't want you to bring ham to Thanksgiving or whatever the fuck. I don't know. Maybe now I'm just being an asshole, but that's just what I think. I think that most people don't stop to consider alternatives or what would happen if things weren't the way they were. I think about that thought a lot. I just don't think people stop to consider alternatives. And I'm going to give you a, pun intended, shitty example. And maybe this is TMI, I don't really give a fuck. Whenever the opportunity presents itself and I can hold the toilet paper in my hand while I wipe my ass, I do. And my family got into a huge ass debate, pun intended again, on how you clean up while you're in the shitter. And I actually have a little bit of it recorded. I think it'd be funny to play it, but I really don't even want to edit that in. So it was an hour long. Everyone was screaming. But my biggest thing was, well, first of all, I was the only person who did that. Everyone looked at me like I was crazy. I don't give a shit, pun intended. And I just don't think people stop to consider that that's a fucking possibility. Not that they would choose to do it if they were aware, but I don't think people think. I just think people are so close-minded with so much in life, they don't stop to consider options. You know, there's quote rules and expectations, but what if you just didn't do that? You did something else. I don't think people generally explore that. I think people just don't even think. You know, when signs say, please use other door, the fuck could be wrong with that door that you'd have to use the other one? It's probably someone who got hit in the face because the door the door opens and it blocks a path, and someone was walking there and they got pissed because they couldn't get through, and they were blocked because the door kept opening and people kept coming through and they couldn't get through the door and so then they put a sign. Well, if there's nobody there, I'm going to open the door and there's no fucking problem. And even if there were, what could, I don't know. So my gripe is I feel like people don't stop and consider alternatives to whatever the fuck is in place before them. I feel like I'm just bitching about random shit that doesn't matter. So I'll get off my soapbox, whatever that means. What does that mean? People say that. What does it mean to say get off your soapbox? Does it mean to get off of your Dr. Squatch containers? It means stop delivering a self-righteous or preachy monologue. A soapbox was a literal wooden crate used as a makeshift platform for public speeches in the 19th, early 20th century. Standing on it elevated the speaker above the crowd, both physically and symbolically. Wow. A soapbox was a literal wooden crate. Modern meaning. When someone says it now, they mean you're lecturing, not conversing, you're moralizing or pushing opinions, you're assuming authority or superiority others didn't grant. Implied criticism. Your message may not be wrong, but the delivery is overbearing. The situation doesn't warrant a speech. You're prioritizing being heard over engaging. Bottom line, get off your soapbox is a command to drop the sermon, rejoin the conversation, and love yourself with the group. Yeah. That's another thing. I just said something that I didn't know the meaning of, but given the context that I hear it being used, I can make that connection of how it should be used without knowing the actual definition. And I also think that's another issue in the world where people recognize patterns and they don't know how to, I guess, answer or prove their point or position in a specific matter. They just have recognized enough patterns to make the judgment. And the answer of, well, I just recognize patterns, that's not a suffice answer to whatever the hell is being presented before them. So I am guilty of that 100% because I will come across certain political posts and I'll think, holy fuck, that's so true. But then I have the next thought of, well, if somebody were to ask me why I believe that, I would say, well, shit, I don't know the stats. I don't know the percentages. I don't know the likelihood of this or that happening. All I can say is, it seems like when this happens, this thing happens. And there's enough of that. There's enough of those correlations to make me believe that this is actually the case. And then they would say, oh, give me some examples. And you would, and I in my head, I just couldn't. I just have no idea what the fuck I'd say. So therefore, I just don't say anything, and that's horrible because I have no way to back up my stance other than I just looking at the fucking patterns and what has happened. It feels good. seems like that's a correct answer. You know, if every time you turn left, a guy flips you off, you could pretty much sum that up that, yeah, every time I turn left, I get flipped off. And they would say, give me an example. You'd say, oh, fuck, I don't know. I think last Monday I was turning left on Lowe's and somebody flipped me off. Oh, it was one time. What's another time? Fuck, I don't know, but it sure seems that way, huh? That just... argument falls right through the cracks. And so anyway, I'm definitely part of that, and I would like to be better. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end the show now. I've talked way too long about nothing at all. Anyway, happy 1 year in business. We made almost 40 grand. I'm probably going to change the description a little bit to showcase what we made the first year, and then also keep on going with the tally. So, yeah. Maybe I'll start a new total, a new tally. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It doesn't really matter. Matter of fact, I didn't touch on this, and I'm going to touch on it real quick before the show reaches an hour, but I was going into the Christmas bullshit because I was going to say after that because of all this Christmas shopping and wrapping and getting things prepared and trying to, I guess, get ready and trying to finish this to-do list of random shit, I haven't worked on the blade as much as I would have liked today. I worked on it enough to make some progress and make some visible changes, which is very cool. I just feel like the last 3 days I haven't really done much with the blade. I was doing some stuff for Mina, trying to fix some shit for Trey, and the Trey shit is not going well at all, and I feel horrible. That's the kind of shit that gets in my head that makes me feel like he's going to fire me, because he asked on a Zoom call almost a month ago, hey man, you know, can we get the data for the whole year? Can we put it into one area so I can see everything for a whole year in review for every month of the year? And I said, yeah, and I'll work on it. I really am struggling to make that happen. So for the last 3 weeks or however long, I haven't done shit, but I've been getting paid. And so my mind, I'm going to get fired because I haven't done anything. That's just what I think about. It's probably not great. Trey's a good guy. He thinks I'm a good guy, thinks what I'm doing is great. I don't know. But I just feel shitty knowing that I haven't been able to deliver on something that he asked me for almost a month ago, even though I am actually trying to figure that out. I don't know. And then with Mina, actually things are going so well that the amount of work that I'm doing, I'm still doing the same amount of work, but the amount of work that I'm doing where I feel like it's required, where it's needed, is I don't feel that. So I feel like I'm lollygagging. And while we're at it, what does lollygagging originate from? I feel like I'm lollygagging, and I feel like he's going to see that and be like, oh yeah, well, yeah, appreciate all the things that you made, man, but, you know, I don't think we really need you anymore. See ya. And it is what it is, you know. Lollygagging originates in the 19th century American English and means dawdling, dawdling, or wasting time. Likely roots: lolly, to idle, lounge, or laze around, possibly from dialect uses, meaning slack or lazy. Gagging, not the modern choke meaning here, likely a phonetic intensifier with no independent meaning in this compound. Okay. It is a reduplicative word. Why is my ChatGPT so goddamn smart all of a sudden? It is a reduplicative word. English often creates casual verbs by pairing similar sounds to convey aimless or repetitive behavior. Dilly-dally, shilly-shally. First recorded use, mid-1800s, U.S. usage, informal from start, never technical. What it implies: not just moving slowly, unproductive delay with no justification. Lollygagging is linguistic shorthand for time leakage through aimlessness, built from playful sound, not precise etymology. What is etymology? Leakage? That's a word? And them pipes got hella leakage, bro. Okay, well, anyway. Has the show gone over an hour yet? This is going to be the first one in quite some time where I single-handedly make it go over an hour. Okay, we're at 59 minutes. Remember when I would reach episodes in the hour-long range, and I would say, holy shit, it's my longest show. And then we have one that's, I think it's 3 hours, something like that. I don't know what it is, but what do I even title the show, this episode? I don't know. Everything. All right, well, that's everything for today. It's now 10:21. It's Saturday, December 20th, 2025. Made 39 point whatever $1,000 my first year. Very cool. On to the next. All right. Love you guys. Peace.